kid is the 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 kid, the golden begin, the number one guy, that kid, that guy, trying to live, trying to exist, trying to stay alive, trying to bake some pie. Guys, we're here again for the weekly Q&A that happens every Friday, where you can put in your questions and I will answer them to the best of my ability. How do you get your question answered? It is extremely clacky. So basically, you go into the websites, description is down there below, www.howfootballhot.com. You scroll all the way down to where it says contact us. You put in your name, you put in your email, and you can ask me whatever question you want. It can be football related, sports related, or related to anything. What is the favorite? What is the best pie to get? The best pancake? The best ice cream? What is going to happen to the future? What do I think of Trump? Do aliens exist? Ask me anything and it shall be answered. Without further ado, let's go in. So a regular here that we have here, Pierre Richard Michel. Hello, Double H. Thanks for the day-to-day excellent work and keep up with the meal in the videos. Okay, the question this week is who will win the Ivory Coast versus Morocco match? Morocco need a draw or win to advance and go through and go to the World Cup. Ivory Coast only win, but they play at home. It's going to be a real tough match, and we all know PSG is a favourite to win the Champions League. But watching the last game of Marseille, I feel they need to go for a top central defensive midfielder. That's the only missing part. They need a Carvalho from Sporting, a Nainggolan from Roma. They need a player that can shield the middle area, but a player that can play the Champions League after the winter break. Which guy do you see coming to be the last piece of the puzzle? Thank you very much for your question there, Pierre Richard Michel. It's always a pleasure. Ivory Coast, Morocco. I'm going to go with Morocco. I do see Morocco getting the draw needed to advance them. I just do not feel that Ivory Coast have what it takes to be able to get the win needed. I think Ivory Coast are in transition, and it's going to take them a bit of time before they really get back to the days of Drogba, Toure, Keita, and Javinia, and so forth. As for PSG, I do get what you're saying. Thiago Motta is definitely getting very old, and I think the defensive midfielder position has become so important, and it's become so vital, which is why I think it is actually very important that they get somebody that is a lot fresher in that position. So I do believe that what needs to happen definitely is I do think like a Carvalho. I think I keep saying that William Carvalho is one of the most underrated players out there. I think he's a great rigid, immovable force in the midfield, and he's got a great positional sense to understand that he needs to be a constant presence in that middle of the pitch. So I do think that him being there will definitely be help them. I mean, obviously they can't get Kante, but someone like a Kante, or even like a Matic, those are the kinds of players that I think PSG definitely need, because when your team is so attacking, you definitely need these defensive-minded players to really help you through there. Kavish Birju. If Muller breaks Klos's record next year and wins the World Cup again, will he be considered one of the greatest in the World Cup, if not the greatest? Keep in mind, Muller has 10 World Cup goals and still has at least 2 World Cups left in him, and has more G's on the biggest stage than Messi and Cristiano combined. I'm going to get to that. Most underrated player in the world for me. So this is weird. There are many ways to view this. Is Thomas Muller technically better than Cristiano or Messi? Hell no. No way. Technically, they're better than him. But as far as performing on the big stage, and there is no stage bigger than the World Cup, you have to say that Muller has been amazing. Same thing for Klose. Klose wasn't very good for Bayern Munich. He wasn't very good for Lazio. But there's a reason why he's the top goal scorer in the World Cup. I mean, it is an amazing feat to score, what was it, 4 or 5 goals in a single game against Saudi Arabia in the 2002 World Cup. I remember I was actually going camping during that time. Horrible experience. Never go camping. That's my advice to you. So, if he does break the record and becomes the out-and-out top goal scorer in the World Cup, this would now be, I think, Germany's, because remember, Gerd Müller was the record holder, then I think Then Ronaldo broke the record. Then close to them broke that record. So you could have a situation where you've got 3 Germans who have held the title of being the top World Cup goal scorer, which I think is just an amazing feat. So that's what it is. He will never be technically as good as Cristiano or Messi. But I think as far as performing on the big stage, which is a skill within itself, I would definitely put him above both Messi and Cristiano. And I think it is hilarious that he has more World Cup goals than both Cristiano and Messi combined. I mean, that is hilarious. Actually, just bear with me. I want to tweet that out. So let me just say, so doing my Q&A, and a fan just asked a question where he said Thomas Muller has more goals in the World Cup than Cristiano. Okay, for final calling Cristiano and Messi combined. Okay. Doing Q&A selection. Okay. I just had to tweet that out. Sorry, man. Next question. Nicholas. Official YouTube page. Official Nich. N-I-C-H. Hello, HH, once again. Greetings from Trinidad. Thank you. I wanted to get your view on my perspective on the future of World Cup theme songs. There is a song called Absolutely Everybody by Vanessa Amorosi that I would like you to listen to when you get some time. That sounded very much like a World Cup song. I was thinking instead of hiring new singers for the time being, there are some songs from the past that are very underrated that can give it that World Cup vibes and bring it a good feeling. What's your view? P.S. Let's keep Shakira. Let's not keep Shakira because I didn't like that song. Although I don't know whether it was I think it was a 2010 song, and I think even my mom liked the song. It was by this African artist. I think he was Kenyan. I think he was a Kenyan artist or something. I can't remember the song. Basically, it's because I think Shakira brought out her song, which was for the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. But this dude brought out this song, which was the unofficial song, and everybody said this unofficial song was actually better. I think it was, basically, I don't know what it is. I will find out. I like new World Cup theme songs. I don't like them using the old ones because I think it's very good because again, now that's what art is about. Art is about creating and always doing new things and challenging yourself to do new things. And for instance, the World Cup is going to be in Russia, so I think a quality artist should look at the World Cup being in Russia and say, what kind of music can I use to create the state of football right now and the setting it will be in Russia. And that is how I think the World Cup theme tune should be around. Look, I mean, again, I told you, I stopped listening to music after like 2003, 2004, so I'm not into this whole contemporary stuff. But I look at someone like a Bruno Mars, you know, and I even look like someone like a Kendrick Lamar, Bruno Mars. If they were to combine and create a World Cup song, I think that would be great because as you're saying, football, especially the World Cup, is getting much more and more global. It is the number one tournament in the world. It is getting even bigger and bigger where other guys say, look what, Super Bowl, get the hell out of here. It's all about the World Cup. I want a new song. Pizzaluzzo at Tiscali.it. Who is better between 1989-1996 AC Milan under Sacchi and Capella's managers and 09-2010 Inter managed by Mourinho? Which team is better overall and which team would win in a single match? That's a tough question. Because you all know that I love the 2010 Inter and I keep on saying they are probably the best team that's I've ever, like, probably one of the best teams that I've ever seen. But that AC Milan team under Sacchi, they did have Maldini, peak Maldini. Costacurta was there. You had Baresi. You had Marco van Basten, one of the best strikers of his generation. And look at the AC Milan under Capello. He had one of the great lone strikers that we've ever seen, George Weah. In a one-off game, I think Mourinho's Inter would beat Sarri's AC Milan. I think in a one-off game. I think they would. As in, literally, this would be literally by penalties. But Capello's AC Milan, with a much older, much more mature Maldini, and with George Weah, for me, I think, Capello's AC Milan would take that, because I do not know how Lucio and Samuel would be able to defend George Weah. Because again, there is no... The closest player to George Weah was Drogba. That's the closest person that's been to George Weah. So there are no George Weahs out in the world right now. No striker is even close to what George Weah was, as in the kind of problems he would actually cause you. So yeah, but no, very, very, very good question. That's a tough one. Oh, same guy again, Pizzoluzzo. Sorry, of course I asked these questions in the previous mail. 1. What is your impression about Benevento Serie A, which is rock bottom with 0 points and 10 defeats in 10 matches? I'm probably going to concede 12 in a row, given the fact that they're playing Lazio and Juve in the next 2 matches. Well, Benevento needed divine intervention. And Benevento, you know what? This is obviously too high a standard for them. So it would be advisable that I hope they get a win soon. But I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I've never seen a team... Because it can happen. Because again, you're used to Serie B and everything. But I've never seen a team come up and you've lost your first 10 games. And they're playing Juve. They're going to lose that. They're going to lose to Lazio. So it's only going to get worse. So I think it's a case of where I think they know that they're already relegated. So what they want to do is that they don't want to embarrass themselves, because they don't want to go through an entire season losing every single game. So I hope and I pray they at least just get one win. But yeah, this was obviously a level too high for them. And is Huddersfield going to stay up in the Premier League, or will they fade away throughout the season and plummet down the relegation side? I think Huddersfield will fight relegation. They'll be in the relegation fight. Will they get relegated? I think they may just stay up. I mean, I do like David Wagner. I do think he's a very organized coach and organized manager. And I do feel that, especially when it gets really tough and they're losing game after game, I do think they'll get that win, they'll get that draw, and he'll be able to just about see them through in 16th, 15th place. Thanks for the question. So this is from Choisin. Hey HH, been a huge fan of the analysis for years. Really like your unbiased insights. Unbiased. My question is, Real Madrid has started this campaign on a really shabby start. Personally, I think it's because of the way Zidane has incorporated Isco in the system, as it complicates the attack and slows down the development of the build-up play. Real Madrid's fast and direct play are almost a thing of the past. Especially Cristina is suffering because of that. Because now his runs are more often than not overlooked. Plus, with the failure of getting experienced players this transfer season, I believe they have lost their X factors. Murat and James provided more dynamic and quality than the younger players. What are your thoughts on this? Huge fan of your vids. Keep up the good work. Points noted. Points noted. You see, Isco is a he's a fantastic player. I'm not going to say he's a great player. He's a fantastic player. Great for football brain. Great. I love his movement, his low center of gravity, how he moves with the ball. I think he's great. And it's definitely a fair point, because Isco, he's a better footballer than Gareth Bale. That's a fact. And I think he definitely can do more with the ball than like Asensio. But with Asensio and Gareth Bale, it's how they play. They're very direct. So they will always go forward. Isco likes to go forward, sideways, diagonal. He doesn't have that kind of forward movement with the ball. And I think maybe what's Real maybe missing is a guy who's always looking to go forward and thinking of going forward. So someone like an Asensio, their dribbling is always pushing them in that forward motion. And once you've been pushed forward, when you've been pushed forward in that forward motion, then it allows you to play that ball to the a Christina or a Benzema or somebody like that who's trying to make that run. So I think for Zidane, you know, they're definitely a whole bunch of factors because they're still creating chances, you know. They're still creating chances, and I think it's about putting away those chances. But I think for Zidane, you've got to try different things. And I think, and I said it in the game against Tottenham, starts with Asensio. If you're not going to start with him, you look at how that first half went against Tottenham, give Asensio a half. Give him an entire half. And then just see how that goes. Because again, someone like an Asensio is completely different in the way that he plays from Isco. Totally different. And if one way isn't working, you need to have a whole different approach, especially if your opposing defense has already sussed you out. So yeah, but I think, you know, just going to give Zidane time. Hopefully he will work it out. Adam, the King of the North. Hi HH, with people suggesting that this Man City team could be the best ever in the Premier League, I was wondering what you thought the best Premier League team was. My picks would be Arsenal 03-04, Chelsea 04-05, United 07-08. Would love to know your thoughts. Best Premier League team, I mean, without a doubt, was the Invincibles. You know, this Man City team are good. It's great to what they're doing, but we've not reached the end of the season yet. I do respect Chelsea 04-05. I respect the numerous United teams. The United team of Cole York, the United team that had Cristiano in it. I think that's one that you're referring to, with Cristiano and Rurin in it. The one with Vidic and Rio as a centre backs. Several good United teams, but that Arsenal team who were the Invincibles, I believe that's the 03-04. They were amazing. That team, they went through an entire season unbeaten. They played incredible football. They had a great defense, great midfield, superb attack, and I mean, a team that have a peak Dennis Bergkamp and a peak Thierry Henry are going to be hard to really surpass. It's going to be very hard to surpass. I think definitely the Arsenal team. But City, who knows how far they can go, but we cannot judge them. We dare not call them the best ever until we see how well they've done at the end of the season. At the end of the day, they're playing well, they're playing superb. They haven't won any trophies yet. It's not over. Bruno Alves. Hi HH, your Portuguese man here. Hello, obrigado. You said in a previous video that Portugal are one of the contenders to win the World Cup next year. You also made an article about this being Portugal's golden generation, better than that of 2000. My question is, would Portugal still be contenders for the World Cup next year without Cristiano? Without Cristiano, no, they wouldn't. Now, by me saying that, it doesn't mean that Cristiano is such an all-encompassing player that he's the one that really makes them competitive. For me, I view Cristiano as the icing on the cake because Portugal have a very good defense, a really good midfield, tacklers in midfield, good passes of midfield, creative midfield players. They've got good wingers. They have a nice up-and-coming striker. But what Cristiano is, he's that deadly finisher. He's just one of the most amazing finishers that we've ever seen. So once you take him out of that, you still have a very good... So Portugal without Cristiano are a very good team who they could make a quarter-final very easily. But a Portugal with Cristiano can make a semi or a final because that Portuguese team, even without him, would still be in the game. But in order to get that win, get that winning goal, get that equalizer, that's how you bring that free kick finisher, which is what Cristiano is. So yeah, he's not. I would say he isn't the best player in. If I say who was the best player in Portugal, I mean that'd be tough. But I think I would say Bernardo Silva has the potential to be the best player. But if you just say, it's me, who is the best player in Portugal right now? I think it's going to be a toss-up. In my opinion, between Carvalho and Quaresma. For me, I think that Quaresma is having a huge surge into playing. And when you just see what this guy does, you know, people are sleeping on just what Quaresma still does. And this is a Quaresma who is not really playing at his peak, you know. And I just think Quaresma was just one of those players who had amazing ability. I keep reminding people, Quaresma was always more talented than Cristiano. But Cristiano was just a harder worker and willing to put in the work, which Quaresma wasn't willing to put in. Hence why Cristiano's career will end up being better than Quaresma's. Let's see whether we can go through these 9 minutes left. Blackwater Park. Hi HH and Football Banter Show. HH always tells that football is about 50% about skill, 50% about psychology. At the same time, he said several times that Maradona and Ronaldo are the best players, even for him. Do you see the link between these two statements? It looks like the second statement is based on the first because Maradona and Ronaldo are the only two players for at least the last 40 years with great talent and great character. What do you all think? Yeah. Obviously, I mean, this was obviously to me and the Football Banter guys, but I'll probably address it to the Football Banter guys when we hopefully meet next time. But I'll just give you my answer. Character is very important, you know. Skill, for me, I keep saying, no, football, sports even is not, it's not basically on your talent. It is what you have between your ears. And Maradona, what he did in 86, what he did for Napoli twice, is a lot of it had to do with character. What Ronaldo did in 2002 had a lot to do with character. And what I think players like Lionel Messi or Cristiano are missing character. Because character doesn't come into play in the Champions League because you're surrounded by amazing players with an amazing coach, amazing coaching, amazing training week to week. A World Cup semi-final is about character. A World Cup final is about character because that is the most difficult form of football that you're going to find is a World Cup semi or a World Cup final because you cannot hide behind the greatest players or great training. You just have who you have, which are your fellow countrymen and your fellow teammates who are not as good as the best possible players a Real Madrid or a Bayern Munich or a PSG can buy. So yeah, I think Maradona and Ronaldo, especially for their achievements, even Zidane with what he did in 2006, are perfect examples of what they call character. PQU Disney. Hey HH, which teams have impressed you the most so far in this season Champions League? In my opinion, PSG, Tottenham, City and Roma have been the standard things so far in the competition. I'll put that in, so I'll say most impressed and most so surprising. The most impressive easily have been PSG and Man City. Most surprising have been Tottenham, Roma, and Karabakh. Karabakh, who knows? Who would have thought? This is a team that came out of, I think they're from Azerbaijan or something, and these guys have managed to take 2 points off of Atletico Madrid. Atletico have not been able to beat these guys in two games. But Roma have really so surprised me. I didn't think they would be this good. Tottenham have really surprised me. I didn't think already at this stage they'd be leading a group with Dortmund and Real Madrid and would have already booked the place in the next round with 2 games to spare. So I think that's amazing from Tottenham. And PSG, look, they've scored the most G's. So what can I say about that? Dylan Holmes. When Conte is eventually sacked, which could be this weekend if he loses to United, who do you think Chelsea should hire as their next long-term manager? Now, I made a video about this. I don't think Abramovich is in here for the long term, which is the issue and the problem that's, you know, Chelsea fans and many people have with your boy Conte. No, with your boy Abramovich. I think Tuchel could be interesting. I think Thomas Tuchel coming in, give him the money. I think he could make Chelsea very entertaining. Obviously very attacking, which is what's, you know, which could be risky. But I think if he definitely matures and grows into the role and learns from the kind of mistakes that Klopp isn't learning from and focuses on defense, I think he could have a very sexy looking Chelsea that makes the best use of Eden Hazard's attacking capabilities. So yeah, I would say you know, Tuchel is probably a name they should look for. You know, go somewhere completely different, because if you're going to start Conte, you can't then hire like a Spalletti or a Di Francesco. Well, Di Francesco is quite, but you can't hire like a Spalletti. You have, if you're going to be from the pragmatist, you're going to go for the much more offensive, attacking guy. But then again, it depends whether he'll be given the time. AJ, hey HH, what do you think about the job Infantino is doing as FIFA president? Personally, I think that he's trying to make too many unnecessary changes, like the 48 team World Cup getting rid of the under-17 World Cups, getting rid of the Confederations Cup, changing the penalty kick shootout format, and making more lenient nationality eligibility rules. If those are all true, he's a flipping clown and he needs to get sacked, because all that stuff that you said there, if true, those are sackable offenses. So Infantino, if you're listening to this, you're a piece of crap if you're going to go ahead and get rid of all of these things and introduce that useless nonsense penalty kick shooters format. And this is the danger here. Football is fine. It's beautiful. Leave it as is. Don't mess things up. Bring back the golden goal. Final question. Patrick Mboma. Hey, Mboma from Cameroon. Loving your videos, man. What happened to the hangout? That was one of my favorite segments. The hangout is going to be returning. In fact, I believe the hangout actually returns tonight. So I think, again, I know I've just been busy doing some things, trying to reassess, reacclimatize, and just trying to rejig how the football hot will work. But I know people definitely love the hangout and also love how I'm able to, extract the audio from it and put it back and do it like that, do it like this, do it like that. So yeah, it's going to be, lo and behold, it will be coming back 100%. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, so, and it will be happening. As you well know, it happens every Sunday and every Wednesday during Champions League week. But I'm thinking of doing a Football Hot daily show. A Football Hot daily show at a very specific time. Bring you all in. We talk and we review all of the day's footballing news. So watch for that. I think I might hopefully find a night time to do it on a nightly, daily basis at a very specific time. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you very much for your questions. I managed to do this all within the half hour. Remember to get your question answered, head to the website halfhopefootballhot.com. The link is below in the description box on the website. You can check the Half Hope Hot 11, check the Brick Academy, check my latest blogs, check all the different things. They just, enjoy the site. It's a football site and about all things for football from the mind of Double H. But to get a question answered, the front page, scroll all the way down on the Contact Us segment, put in your name, put in your email, and write in the question. Ask me anything, football or non-football related. I will have it answered for you next Friday. Stay true, stay black, peace out, and eat your veggies.